so I'm sending my love.
I recently learned that it's not.
Rough there for a little bit.
Sweet, I love it.
I know you were. Booked in to get a new tattoo.
I don't care.
Shook me to my core. Was I even a real functioning human in society this week? I don't think I was.
It's not my fault you're like in love with me or something. It's not my fault. Can a gay girl get a name now? You could poison, baby girl. Words.
It has just started pouring rain. If I didn't want to go to the gym before, I definitely don't want to go now. I'm feeling and looking a bit rough today. I feel like this week's going to be a tough one, unfortunately. You know when you could just tell the vibes on a Monday? I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear me over the rain. I didn't mentally prepare myself for coming to the gym. I kind of just didn't let myself think about it and like got ready and got out of the house, and now I'm here. I'm like, oh, I actually have to go into the gym and like do a hard session. I'm due for my period on Friday, and the week leading up to my period, my mental health goes down the drain. And yesterday I cried at about 5 things that didn't need to be cried over. So I am just a bit scared for this week. It honestly really scares me. I think I want to talk to my therapist about it and then talk to my doctor about it. I don't know if I want to do anything about it, but it actually like kind of scares me how much of a hit my mental health takes right from my period. And I always just thought it was normal. I've recently learned that it's not. It is what it is. I just feel like this week I'm like preparing for it to be hard. I'm not going in with high expectations, you know? It's also the week after Taylor Swift, so like, are we all doing okay? Because I don't think we are. The sun has just come out. Oh my god, I literally hate looking at myself right now. Also, if you notice that my car is different, you'd be correct. I'm currently in a hire car because my car's ain't getting fixed at the moment. Honestly, driving is one of the things I pride myself in because I feel like I'm a quite confident driver, and I hit a pole. No, like I'm so annoyed at myself. I'm so embarrassed. And so I have to replace, like it wasn't just like a light dint of a pole either. Like I scraped it. So I have to replace my driver's side door and my right side back door, and like the sill along the bottom, that all needs to be replaced. Honestly, I can't believe I did it. Thank goodness for insurance. It happened like just before New Year's, and it's only now just getting in to be fixed. I got home, I had my cry, and then I called ROCQ, and these things just like take so much time, which is so frustrating. So they have my car for 2 weeks and I'm in this hire car. Honestly, I hate it. And I'm sure by the end of the 2 weeks I'll be fine, but right now, hate it. I don't even know what the brand of the car is called. I've never seen this little logo in my life. This lighting is whack. I'm so sorry. My plan for the day, I'm going to the gym. I took 2 weeks off my program. I like did 2 weeks and I took 2 weeks off, so I'm gonna redo week 2, do my big full body session. Then I'm going and meeting up with Brie for lunch, which I'm so excited about. I haven't seen her in so long, like since her wedding, and so much has happened since then, so very excited to catch up with her. And then I need to go home and do some editing, and that'll be my day. It's crazy that I can do everything in my day that like makes me feel good and fills up my cup and looks after myself, and I can still feel so heavy and dark and gross in my head. But we're just gonna try our best. We're just gonna run through the motions. We're gonna get it done. Wish me luck. Public service announcement. I got my period today. Yeah! It was rough there for a little bit. As you saw, I had the most perfect morning ever. My hair is not giving what it needs to give right now. I'm trying to do 10 things at once right now. Let's just stop for a second. I had the most perfect morning this morning. I came home from having lunch with Brie yesterday. I showered and then I hopped into bed at like 3 p.m. and I didn't leave it for the rest of the day because I was just really not doing well. And because I was in bed so early, I was like, I may as well go to bed now, wake up early, go see the sunrise, try and have a really good day today. And that's what I did. I went for a 5-kilometer sunrise beach walk. I'm so proud of
myself. And then I went to the holiday and did 2 hours of work while I was at the holiday. I got my period. So I went and quickly had an ocean swim, which I don't feel like I've had an ocean swim in quite a while. So it was very well needed. If you're a water sign and haven't been in the ocean recently, would highly recommend. Came home, my pain was like kind of at like a 6 or 7 out of 10. So I did all of my work on the couch for the rest of the day. And honestly had a really productive time, which was so good. And now it's just past 6 p.m. I'm going over to Soph and Sam's place and we're watching the Matildas game tonight. I was just gonna watch it alone on my couch and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask if I can come over and watch it at theirs. Winnie and I are already, we're gonna go have dinner, watch the game. I'm pretty sure if the Matildas win this game, they're going to the Olympics, which is so exciting. I feel like I've grown such like an emotional attachment to so many of the players on the Matildas team since the Women's World Cup. I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat with me. I watched their game on Saturday night, and they won that. So why in my head am I just like, yeah, we're obviously winning tonight. Am I regretting my outfit choice because it's kind of hot? Yeah, I am, but I've committed. So it's not replying to me, but the game starts in 40 minutes. So I think I'm just gonna head there and knock on her door. Let me in. Yeah, the Tillies.
Maybe she can actually save a goal.
But no.
Imagine if it gets back to 8-all.
Imagine.
I'll be cheering.
Is that Razo? Oh, Razo with a little bow. Oh, Razo!
Got to the grand final. Oh, come on, Red.
Like your feelings are 100%.
Yeah, as are yours. Go on.
Yeah. Wow. Such a lovely conversation. I thought her jersey said Slayer, but it was Slayer. I think she's my new favourite. Lovely looking, yeah. Really? Yeah.
Now that Sam goes out. Matilda's merchandise.
Space to cross and it comes. Says there.
It is, quote, bussin'.
Oh.
Rasso. Rasso. Oh.
Illy Tillies.
Just so everybody knows, Matilda's won 10-0 and we're off to the Olympics. Going to bed a very happy Aussie. Good morning, happy Thursday. It's not Thursday, it's Friday. This week has gone so incredibly fast and I feel like I've done nothing. Like I have not been busy, but I swear I just blinked and now it's Friday. Winston is throwing his rope around, if you can hear that. I feel so weird about this week. Obviously my emotions are just like shot. I hate getting to the end of the week and then just being like, what did I even do? Was I even a real functioning human in society this week? I don't think I was. I've had a really, really lazy morning and it's made me feel so icky, gross and disgusting. So I've just kicked myself up the arse and I'm ready to get things done. And I'm talking to my vlog about it so you can hold me accountable. If there's one thing about me, it's that I hate washing so much. I'll clean, I'll vacuum. I mean, I live alone, so I have to do it all. But my washing is the one thing I can just never get a grip on. And like, it's simple. I know that it's not a hard thing to do, but will I procrastinate every single week? Yeah, I will. So I have a brand new load to put away now. Look, it's sunny in between my pillows. My sheets are in the wash, so that's a slay. I have more washing in my wardrobe that's been there for like 2 weeks now that I need to put away. So I am preparing myself right now to do like quite a few hours of laundry. Rager over Friday. My issue is all I want to do is read my book. All I want to do is read Daisy Hates. Like it's killing me. I thought I didn't love the Magnolia Park series that much until I started reading Daisy. And I love Daisy so much and it's consuming me in like an annoying way, honestly. So I'm telling myself once I do my washing, then I'm allowed to sit down and read my book. However, I think we're having book club next week and we haven't had it in quite a few months because like one of us have been away kind of like all the time. And so now we're all finally home. So I think we're having book club next week and I haven't read both of the books that we're gonna have to talk about. Book club is all fun and games until you procrastinate everything and leave it to the last minute. So one of the books we're doing is None of This Is True. And I've heard from quite a few people that it's a really, really good audiobook to listen to. I'm not a big audiobook girly. I wish I was, but I feel like I'm kind of picky with the narrators and they have to be really good for me to really enjoy it. There's also a small part of me that doesn't like being told what to do, which I don't know what that means. Do I need to talk to my therapist about it? Maybe. But because I've been told to listen to it as an audiobook, I'm like, well, I don't want to. But like they're doing that because it'll make it a better experience for me. I'm just gonna put it on my speaker, do my hours of laundry, get through some of this book, and then if I'm still enjoying the audiobook, I'll keep listening. If not, I'll just get it on my Kindle and finish it there. It says it's only 10 hours long, so that'll be within my Spotify hours, which is a slay. All I want to do is read Daisy and now I have to read these 2 other books, but it's like, this is my fault. Everything I'm complaining about right now is my fault. I am the problem. I'm the problem, it's me. Anyway, we'll see how we go.
In the opposite direction, her handbag clutched tight against her side.
most productive afternoon ever. I feel like I looked good and now I'm looking at myself on the camera. I'm like, what the? And you know when you're cleaning and you're like, oh, just do this and this and this and this. And all of a sudden you've cleaned your whole entire house. It was one of those situations and I feel so incredibly great for it. All of my washing is done. I vacuumed, I cleaned everything. My car is currently full of a bunch of donation bags that I've been meaning to donate for so long. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna run some errands. Soph's going for a sunset swim, so I think I might join her. So I've got my bikinis and my towel here. And I just felt like I needed to put makeup on, put an outfit on, and then actually like get out of the door and like just do something. I'm also like 3 or 4 hours into the audiobook and I hate to report I am loving it. I am, which I'm really glad about. I knew that everyone was telling me to do the right thing and I'm just like, I'm glad that I'm enjoying it. I'm intrigued. I'm very like confused on what's going on. I think it's one of those thrillers where they want you to think that one person's the bad person, but it's actually the other one. I don't know. I'm confused. Let's go donate half of my wardrobe. This lighting is really whack, but I want to give a haul of my very successful errands run. Sorry about the steering wheel being in the way as well. Slay. I've just done that. I've been wanting a shirt like this for so long and the Cotton On men's section really popped off. I grabbed this tee, jersey vibe. I am one of those people wearing a shirt having no idea what it means. Montreal World Championship team. I want to say car racing based off the back of it. I don't care. This jeans, denim shorts, red and white sneakers, all my red and pink sambas, obsessed. I feel like this makes me look gay and I'm here for it. I just went to Target and I picked up these ankle socks. I also went to the post office to finally pick up this package. I'm so excited. We all know by now that as soon as Remy does anything, I'm on the site and I'm buying it. I have this one piece in black and they've launched it in red, and so like obviously it's not even a question. It's giving Baywatch Lifesaver and I'm so excited about it. And then lastly I went to Big W and I picked up 2 books. These are not the books I came to look for. I feel like these were, I could be wrong, but like indie published previously, really expensive, could only get online. Now they're in stores. I've read 3 of the series. I borrowed them from Rachel, but the covers are so gorgeous that I just wanted to own them. So now I have the whole series on my shelf. So I think I have 3 more to read, which like I didn't need to buy the whole series all at once, but I'm so excited to have it all now. They look so good on my shelf sitting next to each other. This was the first one and it wasn't in stock when I went. This is also my personal favorite. I think the first one is definitely the best one so far. And this is the last one. So now when I go home, I'll put this on my shelf and I'll have the whole series, which feels so complete. I'm gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna meet up with Soph after her Pilates class and we're gonna go for a sunset swim, which I just think is very needed. And then I need to go home, get Winston. I think I'm picking up dinner on the way. I'm going to Soph's for a sleepover tonight. We're gonna have a scrapbooking night. I'm finally convinced her to start watching Sex Life of College Girls. This has taken me so long, but I have worked hard and I have persisted. So we're gonna watch that tonight and then I'm staying over because we have to go to an event tomorrow together. So it kind of just worked out really well. I'm so excited for some bestie time. I feel like it's needed. I mean, it's always needed. You know what I mean? I have a hairdresser appointment next week and I'm really hoping that I doubt she will, but I'm hoping she's gonna tell me that my ends are really healthy. I feel like they need a little trim, but I'm trying to grow my hair so bad, basically ever since I chopped it. And honestly, I think it has. I forget how long it's grown until I see photos of it freshly cut and I was like, oh, I miss my long hair so much, so much. It had to be done, like I had to do it. Otherwise I would have never stopped thinking about it, but I want my hair back down here again. I'm just putting my hair up to walk tinny. Oh my gosh, I'm also booked in. Next week is so exciting. I have something on every single day. Booked in to get a new tattoo. I'm so excited. I'm going to a new tattoo place. The back of this arm is not going to be bare for much longer and I'm So excited. Anyway, Winston's looking at me all sad because I put my socks on. Little does he know he's coming with me. I had a rager of a Saturday night last night, staying in journaling, and I am having so much fun with this. I've been a journaling advocate for so many years. I honestly would be a bit concerned at how I handle things if I didn't journal, but this year I've started scrapbook journaling, which like is not that different to what I was doing before, but for some reason it brings me so much joy. It is so nice to like get off my phone, and it takes like most of my concentration. Like I put a comfort show or something on in the background that I don't really have to pay attention to, and I just journal for hours, and I feel like it's the first thing in a long time that gets my mind off things in a good way. Obviously I'm like journaling about things that are going on, but I'm loving it so incredibly much. This is just a little I don't want to show you too close. All right, let me show you my Taylor Swift pages actually. How fun is this? I love just like sticking things in and then just writing all of my thoughts around it. And this is my VIP ticket. Look how cool. I love it so much. I collected confetti from the floor of the concert and wrote "There's glitter on the floor after the party," and that's me being sad after the party. I actually just can't wait to look back on this in years to come. Like that's gonna be so fun. The little blue dude on Instagram is my favorite, and I copied one of their little doodles about first date, just the two little dudes. And the speech bubble says, "This was so fun, let's never see each other ever again," because I love dating so much. I did the "I'm just a girl" like TikTok trend for one of our old travel photo booth photos. Grace and I went to Hamilton Island, so I did some pages for that. I love it so incredibly much. Like washi tape, a ribbon, colored pens, gluing so many random things in. It is bringing me so much more joy than I was expecting, and it's already getting a bit thick. Like I can't wait for the whole journal to look like that. This is like my prized possession. I love it so much. If you've been looking for a sign to start scrapbook journaling, let this be it. Am I procrastinating going on my walk? Maybe. Anyway, oh, my headphones aren't down here, are they? Are they? My headphones are. I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. It kind of feels rogue to like roll out of bed and chuck on a thriller audiobook for my morning walk when someone's excited. And then I have a couple of old work friends coming down for the day, which I'm so excited. I haven't seen them in so long. We were meant to have a beach day, but it's so gloomy, so I don't know what we'll end up doing. Equally, we don't need to do anything because we will be able to just sit and chat for a whole 8 hours of the day, to be honest. I also am like 99% sure all three of us don't work at our old job anymore, like where we met. And I just feel like that's such a fun like milestone for us. We left one by one, but also it's always so fun to like talk about our old workplace and like the drama, the people we miss, we don't miss. Work friends I feel like are just something else, and I feel like I don't have that now with my job obviously, and so it's so nice to be able to have that with my old work friends back in the old days, you know. Anyway, I need to go on this walk. Good morning. It is Monday and I'm going to continue this vlog for one more day. I'm so excited. I'm about to go into my hair appointment and I'm just so excited for like a good wash, a fresh color. I honestly don't hate the color it is right now, but my roots are just giving like ashy vibes, and when it catches the light, like right now it looks fine, but when it catches the light it looks so incredibly orange. So I think I just want a little freshen up. I am really sad that like my hair is so fine and oily that I can't really like do any like fun cuts, and I can't really change up my hair, but equally I'm a creature of habit, so also like I'm not that upset about it. But I'm excited for a fresh little trim because then hopefully it'll keep growing quite fast. Also I feel so bad going in with dirty hair, but I literally washed it yesterday and now it's dirty, so what can you do? What can you do? I need to go in.
And even a bit more in there.
Yeah, and like the longer it gets,
Yes.
easier to add to.
Yeah.
Sweet. I love it. So fun. I forgot to show you my hair in proper daylight, and not that it's anything crazy. This is about as different as I go. I'm honestly so happy with the length. Like I'm so glad it's growing again. Like this feels kind of long. And we did some fun layers at the end, which I'm not gonna be able to show you properly. It kind of gives a bit of purple and some lighting, which like scares me a little bit, but we went for just like a different brunette than we normally do, which is just kind of fun. A little bit of a change without like actually changing anything. But I'm about to shower, so I just wanted to quickly show you before I looked like a drowned rat. That's the crazy riveting update that I know you were waiting for. I know you were. Okay, good night.
Shoe fits, walking into your high heels, ready to go right down the rabbit hole. Long story short, it was a bad time. This time I'm ready. I'm all about you.
I've I've really been in my Evermore era recently. I feel like I haven't sat down and chat properly in so long. I normally do a start of the year Q&A, a big life update, but I didn't feel like I was in the mental state at the start of the year to do so. I didn't feel like I was at a position where I could sit down and chat about my life and what I want for this year and give all the updates. And then the start of this year, like January, February, we're now into March. This year has already been so strange for me, mainly just my mental health. I don't really know what's going on. I mean, it's a great time to have found a good therapist. I have therapy in a couple of hours and I'm nervous. I'm so scared because I know it's going to be hard because my homework is really hard and it's meant to get me out of my comfort zone and it's meant to be hard and challenging, but I am scared. But yeah, this year so far has just been a little bit of a roller coaster with my mental health. Therefore, have not sat down and chat properly because I don't feel like I have enough to like speak about, but I just felt really distant. And so I wanted to sit down and chat about whatever I was asked. So I asked for questions on my Instagram. I will be honest, most of the questions are about my dating life, which part of me is like, oh, but also I'm like, is that the only question I get to answer? I did feel like I did the dating question thing to myself because obviously if you're going to talk about it and then not tell the whole story, people are going to want to know. I would want to know. But a lot of people were asking about the date I mentioned going on a couple vlogs back, which I never gave you an update for because the issue with my job is I try to avoid answering the question, what do you do for work? Until I meet them so they can't like stalk me beforehand. I feel like that's just like the upper hand. Like you know so much about me just from looking at my Instagram or my YouTube. And I'm like an open book, like too much of an open book online. And I'd rather them like get to see the first bit of me in person. So normally the first date is, oh, what do you even do for work? And then I have to explain it. And then 9 times out of 10, they follow me right there on the date. And so then I feel like I can't talk about them until it's either a relationship or it's over. So that is why I didn't update you after my date. But now I can talk about it because it's been a couple of weeks. It's not going anywhere. It was a good date, honestly. It was a good experience. I feel like every date that I go on, I gain a little bit more confidence. I feel like before I started dating, going on dates was this like huge, big, scary thing. And it's still scary and nerve-wracking, but it felt like quite unachievable. Whereas now, every time I go, I like learn more about myself. I gain a little bit more confidence. I like take little bits of like the things they did on dates that I would like for me to do for others on dates, if that makes sense. Like it's all just a bit of research, isn't it? So yeah, it was a good date. I wasn't really feeling it afterwards, so I'm not seeing her again. But I really feel like, I don't know if this is just me and my like mental state right now or if other single people will agree, but I feel like I'm always just like 50-50 on like being single and dating. Like half the time I'm like, I love being single, I love going on dates, like I love like matching with people online and like chatting and then going on a date, and it's so like nerve-wracking and exciting and the first date butterflies, like it's all like fun and exciting. And then the other half of me, 50% of the time, I hate being single. I am made to be in a long-term relationship. I am not cut out for this dating world. I'm gonna be single forever. Like my person isn't out there, and it just is a vicious cycle of that never ending. Right now I'm in a I'm never gonna find my person phase, so that's really good. Really love it here. Really good time. It's like all fun and games until you're really like, am I actually gonna be single forever? And I know that sounds dramatic, but if you had also been single for your whole entire life, also I have so much to say. I grew up with no male attention, no like romantic attention, which I was in the closet, so it adds up and it makes sense. But equally, that's bound to fuck with you a little bit. Like Soph and I always joke that I haven't actually been single for 25 years. I've only been single since I came out, so only like 2 years, because the first bit like doesn't count because I wasn't like looking for what I knew I wanted. I wasn't looking at all because I thought that I had to look at boys and I didn't want to. So that part of my life doesn't count as being single in my head to help me cope with the fact that I've been single for 25 years. And so it's so easy with all of that to now be at 25 and be like, it is very possible that I could be single forever. You know, I'm trying to do like everything that I can. Obviously I work for myself, so I am at home quite often and I'm not like out meeting people all the time. Like I don't have a workplace, I don't like have many hobbies. I have joined a soccer team. That was another one of the questions I got because I talked about trialing for a team quite a while ago. I didn't actually go back to any of their other trials for that club because I was traveling for the rest of the month, but when I came back I messaged around to a few clubs and I've joined a team, which I'm so excited about. I did rock up to the first meeting and they are all mums. They're all like in their 40s, 50s. So no future girlfriend is going to be there, unfortunately. Maybe some of them have daughters. But my first game is next week. I'm so nervous. I'm so stressed. But it's a very like social, chill team. We're not even doing trainings. We're just like playing every week, which I think would just be really good for me to like get out. A, have some physical activity that I really enjoy. B, just like meet new people, whether they're my age demographic or not. Just get out, have a bit of fun. Be in like a social situation because I just feel like I am in charge of everything in my life. And if I want to be a hermit and not talk to a single soul for a whole week, I could. And sometimes I do. And it just doesn't benefit me in the ways that I think it would. So I'm like, oh, I just need some alone time. Like, I'm just an introvert. I need some alone time. No, you're actually just really, really sad and won't leave your bed. So I think it'd be really good for me. I'm very excited. But that's kind of like the only hobby kind of thing that I'm like getting out of the house and like talking to other people who are not my immediate friends. So I just don't know how you're meant to meet people. And like, I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a big partier. So therefore I don't want to meet my partner somewhere like that because that's not where my like values align. So I'm just assuming that they're all on the dating apps, and then that is so far for me not successful. It's been the most successful place to find them, but I'm still single. So like, what am I meant to do? And if you're wondering why I ignore everyone trying to date me in my TikTok comments, it's because the last time I entertained that idea, I was in a 3-month-long situationship and I hurt my own feelings. So I won't be doing that again. That's my situation. I also, like, as much as I want a girlfriend too, I would love some like gay friends. Why don't I have any, and why can't I find any? I think that's why I feel so close to a lot of my online friends, because they're my only queer friends. I just feel like there's some things that like only queer people get or can like fully understand and relate to, and I feel like I'm missing that part of my life. But yeah, I just feel like I'm stuck in this, I don't know what to call it. I just feel stuck. I'm doing everything that I can. Also, I probably could be doing more, but who knows? Who knows? But as I said, every date is good experience. I've not actually had like a bad date that's like scarred me. So like, that's a slay. I feel a bit nervy talking about this because like, what if they're just sitting back watching this? That's also the thing where like, I have to be honest talking to the people that I do, because I'm not going to lie to my blog, obviously. So they're going to find out eventually if they choose to watch, which I hope they don't. Let's be real. If I went on a date with an influencer, I'd be stalking her. I'd be watching all of the YouTube videos. So I don't blame them, but I just feel like I can't lie. I can't ghost, which, you know what? I'm against ghosting, actually. I could really get into it. I won't. But I think a nice, sweet, short, sharp message ending it is better than ghosting. Can you tell I've been ghosted? Anyway, that is way too much time spent talking about dating. So moving along from that, someone asked if I have any travel plans for this year. At this point in time, I have no travel booked for the rest of the year, which honestly makes me really excited. I've been so fortunate and blessed to be able to go on all of the trips that I have, but I don't want to get to the point where I'm like really excited to go home. Like, I want to enjoy travel as much as I can, and I think for me to do that, I need to space it out a bit more. Who knows what'll come up? I would love to do some interstate trips this year. I'd love to go back to Adelaide and visit my friends Kirsty and Ella. I'd also love to go to Perth, which I don't know if that's going to be like a solo trip or a friend trip. I was literally going to go last year to meet my situationship. Lucky I didn't, but I would just love to go. It looks so beautiful, and it's been on my list for so many years, and I've just never been able to make it. So I don't know what'll pop up throughout the rest of the year, but for now I have no trips planned, and I just want to stay at home. I want to save some money. I want to spend some time with Winston. I haven't had the chance to really get into a good routine so far this year, and I'm really okay with that. I'm really excited to be at home and just be a bit of a hermit. I feel like I had a lot of queer questions in my question box, which made me really, really happy, because as I was just saying, like, I don't feel like I have a queer community around me. So at least online it feels like I really do. I had a few people asking how I knew I was gay, if I was questioning if I was gay in high school. I just got goosebumps because it makes me so happy that I can kind of act as like, okay, that's enough. Act like a queer big sister online, because I grew up searching for that online, and I think if I had more queer representation in my life earlier, it would have made my acceptance journey and coming out process a whole lot easier. Also, I'm not the most experienced. I don't have the best advice, so I wish that I could be better at that. I will say, if you're questioning whether you might be queer or not, I don't think that straight people do that. So do what you will with that, but whatever the outcome of that is, it's okay. And I had a lot of people asking how I came out to my friends and family, which I actually don't think I've spoken about this before. I wish I could go back and do it differently, if I'm being honest. I don't feel like I did it in the best way. I was drunk telling most of my friends because the thought of it was so scary and daunting that I could not do it sober. Also, I'm the kind of drunk where I can't keep anything to myself, and if I have a secret, it's out. A secret about myself, not about other people. Which, why can I keep other people's secrets and not my own? Not sure. Soph was with me for my whole discovery journey. She was a very big part in it, so she knew when I knew. Rachel, Grace, Beck, I told all when I was drunk. I told my brothers over text message. Like, I was such a little wimp. I was such a little scaredy cat and like could not tell people face to face, which
I'm like, I want to go back and like give her a little hug because like bless her. Because now I'm looking back, I'm like, it's literally not scary at all, but at the time it was terrifying. I couldn't even speak it to my parents either, and I felt like I couldn't. All my friends and my brothers and stuff, like they would get over me like texting them or telling them when I was drunk or whatever. I felt like my parents deserved a bit more of like a formal chat, so I wrote them a letter, handed it to them, watched them while they read it, and that was how I came out to them. I felt like I didn't want to like talk to them and get my wording wrong and say anything I didn't mean. I didn't want them to like fight back or ask questions and I not have the answers for them, so I wrote a letter. It took me all day to write this tiny little paragraph in my letter to them. I don't feel like there is a right or wrong way to come out. It is whatever it needs to be for you at the time. There's no time limit, there's no rush, there's no process that you need to follow. It is whatever that feels right for you in that moment in time. That is when and how you come out. I feel like, at least for me, it was one of those situations where it was really, really scary in my head. Once I did it, no one really cared that much. And by the time I realized that some people did care more than they like let on, I was at a point where it didn't affect me as much as it would have when I first came out. So I'm sending my love. I also just feel like I really got to the point, I grew up really trying to like please everyone around me, and I would never like go against the grain. I would never have a different opinion, which is just like an awful way to live. And I genuinely was convinced for my whole life until I was like 23 that I could live the rest of my life like that. I was like, yeah, I will be 80 years old and I will be agreeing with everyone just to make everyone happy. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what I did to make this happen, but something just like switched in my brain, and I was like, I cannot physically live my life like this forever. And if I'm not going to be like it forever, I may as well change it now. Like, it was almost like I had enough. Like, I was so fed up. I feel like that's how most things happen in my life. I don't know why I'm like that, but I have to let things get so bad that I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. Something has to change, and then I do it, which is annoying. I'm working through it in therapy. As soon as I feel an emotion, taking action. Easier said than done, but that kind of made coming out easier because I would just like could not physically keep living the life that I was. So it was kind of easier equally. Still the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the most worthwhile thing I've ever done. Like, I actually love my life and myself now so much more than I even thought possible before I came out. I don't know why, but I didn't think my life would be better after I came out. But obviously once you start like living your truth and like being proud of who you are, being like authentically you, life obviously just gets easier and easier and better and better. That's my little spiel. Sorry if you're straight and don't care at all, but that's my little story. Someone asked, are you looking forward to any other concerts coming up? And actually I'm not, which is really sad, but I feel like I've had such a great year so far of concerts. I saw Noah Khan. I was up close and personal with him, and it was one of the best nights of my whole entire life. I've never been that close in a concert, and I think that was the first concert I'd been to where I really felt like emotionally like connected to the artist. I feel like you go to concerts all the time and you're like, wow, I love their music, but like Noah Khan's songs sit like in my soul more than they probably should. So it felt like a very emotional experience. Like, I was crying standing in this mosh pit alone because the songs meant so much to me. Like, I have one of the lyrics tattooed on my arm, and hearing that song live was insane. I also, actually, someone asked me about it. Someone was like, Noah Khan ad? Because I recently just worked with Noah Khan, technically Universal Music, paid me to make a reel with a Noah Khan audio of a song that I love and heard live. Like, I think that's actually like the peak of my career, and like, can I top that? Probably not. But also then the next month I obviously went to Taylor Swift. I'm repping the merch, and that was also the best nights of my life. Like, I actually can't think of another time in my life that beats Noah Khan and Taylor Swift's concerts. Like, nothing will ever top it. Taylor Swift is mother. She is the best of the best. She's also like in the peak of her career right now, and I can't believe I was lucky enough to see her live. I actually don't have words for it. I haven't recovered. I haven't come down from the high of that yet. I looked through my camera roll and I can't believe that that is what my camera roll looks like. I think because it's been such a long time coming for her to come to Australia that I've seen everyone's photos and videos of it, and I can't believe that those photos are actually my own. Like, it just feels like there's someone else's online. I also just feel like it's such a beautiful time in the world, in life, to be a woman. I was talking to Sophie about this the other day because obviously we're always talking about like girlhood, and at the Taylor Swift concerts how everyone's handing out bracelets to each other and like talking to strangers and like dressing up really fun. And it just felt like there was 96,000 of us in the stadium and we were all like connected. And I was saying that it kind of gives the same energy as when the Barbie movie came out. Like, I feel like everyone just started wearing pink and bows, and it was just this big movement of girlhood. And I feel like even before Barbie, when the Women's World Cup was happening, it was the same thing. Like, all of these women were getting into sports for the first time, and the Matildas are again at the peak of their career, just made it to the Olympics. And I just feel like it's about goddamn time that now it's cool and acceptable to be like celebrated as a woman. Obviously this is not like the first time it's happened, and I just feel like it's a big like movement at the moment, and I'm just loving it so much. Anyway, I have no more concerts for the rest of the year. Again, who knows what will pop up. Honestly, I've seen all of my top artists live besides Renee Rapp. So if anyone could let her know that Australia is ready for her whenever she's ready, that would be fab. I think I will actually die dead, passed out on the floor if I got to see Renee Rapp live. I've been seeing all of her like meet and greets on TikTok and stuff, and I already have a little speech written up in my head of what I would say to her when I meet her, because I will be meeting her one day. So yeah, who knows what concerts will pop up, but I have nothing planned. Someone asked, how did you, Soph, Rach and Lang me? Rachel and I have been friends since we were in grade 5, so we were 10 years old, and we were both turning 26 this year, so that's like 16 years of friendship, which is kind of insane. And she started her YouTube channel in high school. We both grew up watching it, and I was like, well, if Rachel can make them, I can make them. And she was like most of the reason I actually started my own channel, which is crazy because now here we both are doing it full time, still friends. Like, it's so cool. And then what year was it? 2020? 2021. Soph and I followed each other online. She was living somewhere else in Queensland at the time, and we were online friends for a bit, and then we met up. We got along so well. Then I obviously introduced her to Rachel, and then even later down the track, Soph and I met Lang, and then we introduced her to Rachel, and now like Posse Creative exists, and Lang manages us for all of our sponsorships, which is just like crazy that our friendships can like go from that and evolve into what it is now. Winston is being so loud, I'm so sorry. It's so fun. I'm so unbelievably grateful to have friends in my life who are in the same job as me, and it also just so happens that our job isn't the only thing that connects us. Like, we're such good friends outside of work. Anyway, I've already been talking for 40 minutes, so I'm gonna have to cut this down so incredibly much. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. Thank you for making it to the end if you did. I was about to say my weekly vlog next week is so exciting. It's not. I am just excited for next week because I'm getting a tattoo, and that makes my week 10 times better. I'm excited, but I'll see you for my weekly vlog next week.